grant you that we may find rest, each of you, in the house of our husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. And they said unto her, Surely we will return with thee unto thy people. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husbands? Turn again, my daughters, go your way, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have a husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would he tarry for them till they were grown? Would he stay for them from having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sakes, that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. Up to
14, 16.
And they lifted up their voice and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, Ruth, clave unto her, and she said, Behold, the sister-in-law is gone back unto her people, and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou goest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God.
That's the difference right there. You notice Oprah went back unto her God, right? In verse 15, and Ruth responded to the call that was given, right? She went on to marry Boaz. Y'all know who Boaz was, right?
He's a kinsman redeemer. Kinsman redeemer.
Kinsman redeemer. I like how you put that. In relation, literal relation, how does he start up? He's the father of Jesse. And Jesse is the father of David. And David is the king line to Jesus. Thank you, brother. So Boaz, she married Boaz. Now remember, this is a Moabite, right? An idol worshiper. This is a beautiful story to show you it doesn't matter where you come from, God can change your destiny. You understand? This woman used to bow down. He used to be in the temple. If you listen, the Moabites were bad folks.
Wasn't there sexual relationship?
Yeah, they come from an incestuous relationship. They're Lot's kid, right? Moab was Lot's kid that he had with his daughter, one of his daughters. And there were some bad folks. As a matter of fact, it was so bad that these folks were so bad. When the children of Israel was walking through the wilderness, God didn't send them through. He didn't send them through Moab, the Moabite country, because these were bad folks. And because God didn't send them through they heard all that stuff that God was doing for his people. Right? Remember, they're related to Lot. Okay? This will remind you what they did. The king, Balak, employed a man by the name of Balaam.
What to do with the donkey?
The donkey man.
Oh, okay.
The donkey man. The donkey man.
Okay.
Balak, their king, because Israel didn't pass through their land. I mean, they should have just relaxed themselves and just be. That they wasn't happy with that. So the king employed Balaam to curse. We know how that ended up, right? We know how it ended up for Balaam. And an animal talking to him. So these are some bad people. Bad people that Ruth came from. Okay? But that's not the end of her story, Sonia.
Wasn't Ruth supposed to be killed under the leadership of Tabash for being not blemished, for having no blemish on her? Under that king?
Oh, yeah. Under that rule the Israelites have, yes. But she became legitimate when she married Boaz, right? I guess Naomi wasn't enough. But Boaz, who was Boaz? I got it up there.
The son of Solomon.
The son of Solomon. Who was Solomon married to? I have a blank there.
Who was who married to?
Solomon. Solomon was Boaz's daddy. So who was Boaz's mama?
Wasn't it Bathsheba?
No, but she was married to King Solomon.
Oh, okay, sorry.
This is not Solomon, this is Solomon.
Solomon. Oh, okay.
I'm
I'm looking at it now.
Sister Joyce, she's swinging that back. Rahab. Another beautiful thing about God's scripture. This woman was a whore. In fact, she wasn't a whore, she was a prostitute. And look at her line.
That's right.
Look at her line. You're going to tell me you're going to worry about what people say about you when you have God on your side? Right? Look at that lineage right there. And Jesus came through that lineage. And you could prove that right there in Matthew chapter 1 verse 5. Matthew chapter 1 verse 5.
So is there a difference between a hoe and a prostitute?
Well, one is free and one charge.
One charge and one not. That's the difference.
I don't know if that is, I don't know if it's that simple, but I can accept that one for right now.
Hey, Pastor, you know, when you say that, and that's where this reminds me of how Jesus says, "Come as you are."
That's right.
But you know, Jesus is the one that does the drawing. He draws these people to himself because he knew them before they were even born.
See, in Matthew 1:5, it says, and Solomon begot Boaz of Rahab. Rachab, it says, but that's Rahab. And Boaz begot Obed of Ruth. And Obed begot Jesse. That's Jesus' line right there. King David came through that line. So you could look at King David and says, with all your crown, King David, your grandmama was a prostitute.
Yeah.
There goes your neck.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So now, explain something. I got the picture, but I don't have it clear. Part of Jesus' bloodline was heathen because of
No, it wasn't heathen. He came through heathen line, just like us. Right? Nobody here was born a saint.
Jesus, that's right.
But, okay, Jesus had heathen blood in him because of Ruth. Am I getting that right? Am I getting that mixed up?
Well, I'm trying to understand what you're saying about heathen blood. Even Hitler's blood is the same blood as ours.
That's right.
God made all men.
One blood.
Acts chapter 17.
That's right.
All men of one blood. In time past, he winked at our sins, right? But now he called all men to repent, right? So it doesn't matter what. And if a beautiful thing is you look at Paul's explanation in Mars Hill. Is that Acts chapter 17 too?
Unknown God.
The unknown God thing. Paul said that God designed, everything happened according to God's designs. So and you could confirm this in Genesis 10, the three sons of Noah, right? Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Japheth went north, right? If you look at the names and the titles, he went north. That's where them folks get their light skin from. I mean, their pale skin from. They're not light, they're pale. And then Ham went south. He went to Africa, or maybe Egypt. God knows. But Shem stayed. So basically, everybody just came out from them. You can't dispute. If you dispute it, you dispute in the Bible. Because only 8 people God saved, right? After the flood. That means you rejected the flood. So all of us come from the same loins, right? And if I cut you, I saw a man the other day. That man was so black he was blue. But beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful man. In In fact, I only know he was there because he smiled.
That's
That is messed
I'm
up.
exaggerating.
That is messed up. Oh my
Nah, actually, I knew he was there because he opened his eyes.
That is so messed up.
No, but seriously, he was a beautiful man. I could say that about a man. He was beautiful. He's like his skin was painted on. Only God could do something that magical. That's a magic. How could you come out that like someone paint you? Amazing. Jay?
I thought that Grace, what's her name?
Rich Jones?
Grace Jones, she's pretty. Well, I haven't seen her lately, but in the movies, her skin.
That's Sister Joyce Countrywoman.
That's what.
Grace Jones.
Yeah.
That's what's the preacher's name?
No,
Noel Jones' sister. He's a preacher and a big time preacher right here in LA. Okay. As I look around, I don't believe anyone here was born worshiping on the Sabbath, right?
No.
Only Brother Jay, and poor Brother Jay went to sleep. Right? Brother Jay, when we used to ask that question, Brother Jay said, I was born into Sabbath. His mom was a Sabbath keeper. In fact, when I spoke to Brother Jay's mom one time for a while, she was asking me about places where Sister White was born. And Irvin heard the question. Irvin said, don't ask him, he don't know nothing about that. Mount something, Mount Carmel or something, because that's a big deal to them folks. So here you see a difference, and here all of us are, and we never came from this, right? We all left Egypt and with no plans to go back, correct? Are you planning to go back?
Not me.
We're not hit and miss kind of people, and we're not church hoppers, right? Hebrews 10 tells us that God called us for us to worship together, right? We're not going to go there for the interest of time. Let's go to the next slide. Any questions on this?
No.
When you say church hoppers, you got to visit different churches until you find one that you really like.
That's not the definite, no. I got to answer this way first. First of all, you're not supposed to visit the church till you find the one you like. That's not the criteria for you to find a church. You understand?
I do. Keep going.
Let me ask this question and answering that question. What are the determinant factors that makes you determine a church to be a part of?
Is it personal or depends on the answer?
No, let's hear you.
I am here because of the second word of God, the truth. I came out of Anglican, and I came into the Adventist church because they taught Bible, we use prayer. So any church I'm into, not how great the pastor is, I'm here because of the word and the sweet fellowship of one another is great.
Okay? Okay, let me expound on what Sister George just said. If you pick a church by a church that you like, who's going to make the mistake? God or you?
Always us.
Because we know God don't make mistakes.
God don't make a mistake.
Okay, so shouldn't you follow a church or be a part of a church where God's supposed to have sent you?
Yes.
So then usually, as God as a parent, He will usually give you something that you don't like. Isn't that the way wisdom works?
Yes.
The things that are good for us are the things we don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
It's even true in food,
You ain't joking.
right? All the things we like. I love ice cream. Butter pecan. Butter pecan. And if there's no butter pecan, I'll take some coconut pineapple. But I like nuts. But it's not good for me. That's why my jaw is fat and greasy. It's not good for me. You're supposed to try to live healthy so that you don't get sick and create problems to yourself and for your family. That's part of your wisdom that you're supposed to live, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But even in food, even in church, you're supposed to go to a church not because the church is close to my house, but not because the church, I like the music there. The main important thing is the Word of God.
Amen.
I guess most people have it wrong because I hear people saying, I like this church because I this church because they have mostly old folks, you know, so I like this church because they wear the fancy hats.
Brother David?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with him because you see, the thing is, you're not going to a church because, oh, I like what you have on. No. You go to because what the pastor does, he goes to the Word of God. He goes to God's Word. That's the reason.
That's the reason you should.
Yeah. You go to the Word of God, not because you know what you got on your back.
See, go ahead, brother.
Well, I'm here because I was invited,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got convicted. So I'm like, okay, this is it. So I agree with that, and you're not supposed to go because you like it, but the one that I came from, I was just being, it was just something that I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. And then it got worse, and I had to go. It got worse because of the pastor reading the word, but it was how he interpreted. It wasn't what the people were doing, because my brother had an encounter with one of his nephews at his house, and he was telling him about the Sabbath. And he came back to me, and I told Arthur, he said he was worshiping
Legalism.
Legalism. Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
And it was like, that bothered me really bad because I wanted to,
Was it a weak argument for you?
No, it wasn't. I didn't argue about it. I didn't even answer him. I didn't say nothing. I made no comment because I know he was lying when he said that. So, it was nothing to me.
You already knew about the Sabbath,
Yeah,
so you knew he was
I
lying.
already knew, but I'm just saying what he said about my brother talking to his nephew. He didn't want that to stick into his nephew's head because he asked him about what Arthur had said to him. And so, like he said, you go because, I don't go because of the pastor, I go because of what the Spirit of God has placed in the man of God in order to teach us, what we need to know in order to, make it in. But it's like, and those people are just suffering so bad because it's all about him, and that's what they do. And so, when you know better, you do better. And so for me, I have to look out for my own soul salvation because I can't just sit and listen to anything. So, I love coming here. I don't care if it's 5 of us. I love coming here. I'm tired of all these big old churches and the pastor getting up and it's all about money and him. And that's exactly what it is. And even if I was at a Sabbath church, Pastor Blade, and it began to get about him because I was a treasurer there, and he wanted me to do stuff that was out of, content with what was said to be done with the finances, and got upset about it. And I said, you know what, it is time for me to release myself. And then, when George came into the picture, it was really time to release myself because he really didn't like my husband. But, I'm saying even in the Sabbath, 7-day, well, he wasn't 7-day Adventist. He said it was the Sabbath church. But anyway, that's what he called himself. But I said that to say that, I've seen so much go wrong there with him when it didn't start out like that. And that's how I learned about the Sabbath, because I was totally green. I'm like, So it was okay for me once I started going on the Sabbath. I enjoyed going on the Sabbath. I just felt so different. It wasn't all about just the music and the word coming forth on a Sunday, and I'm not retaining any of it on Monday. So I'm just saying, that's my experience. That's my experience.
What I was saying in what I wanted to say in Hebrews 10:23 is about not forsaking the assemblies of yourself one with another. God designed for us, for us to come together to worship Him because there's benefits in it for us. Did you know that? There's benefit in it for us, right? Because I'll give you an example. I had this girlfriend of mine. She's been practicing for years to tell me that, I'm going to come to church with you, and I keep telling you, don't come to church with me, or don't come to church for me. Come to church for yourself. For you to learn, oh yeah, I know, I got to come. Fast forward, her brother died. She and her brother were close. She wanted me to do the funeral for her brother. I said, I don't know your brother. I said, maybe if you had come to church, I'd probably get to know you, so I would know your brother. So he said, yeah, but just, it doesn't matter. I said, no, it matters to me. If I'm going to do a eulogy for somebody, I got to at least know them. Because when I'm going to be up there, I'm just going to be lying. And I've done that before. I've done eulogies for people that I never know before. The mortuary called me a few times. My name is on the roll. And it says, but that's great. We need a preacher. Come. What is it? You'll get a chance to talk to the family. When you talk, family don't want to talk because they're fighting with each other. What am I going to say? He was a bum? So I told her, I can't do that. I don't know your brother. I can barely know you. I knew you when we were younger, but we have lost track. Basically, we talk from time to time, but you keep promising me for what, almost 10 years that you're going to come, and you don't come. Oh, what am I going to say about your brother? That's part of one of the benefits. You come because the church is supposed to be a place from the time you're born to the time you die. It takes care of you and everything in between. When you get married, the church is there for you. When you're sick, the church is there for you. When you got issues, when you're happy, all and everything included. It's everybody needs a spiritual need. They have a spiritual need that they have to be able to lock in. And the best place to lock in, according to God's design, is people that you know.
You know, when I said to the church, and be vindictive. If you want to get, how do I use the word? Messed up or mix up, join the church. Yeah, join the church because
messed up and mix up.
Because you know why? Because as you just said, the church is to embrace. You know? And you see, but if you love Jesus, you have to have Jesus. Because if you love Jesus, everything the minister said, the things and everything is represented. But Jesus can keep us straight.
Thank God for him. Amen. Because God knows we all messed up, right, Sister Joy? Jesus says the church is not for righteous people.
That's right, sick people.
That's right, it's for sick people. So he will all make us well. Here in this title I put the ecumenical movement is almost complete. Ecumenical. Right, Sonia and Jeanette can tell you what that word means. They wear a ring. That from the ecumenical, Arthur looking at you like, yeah. Sonia, show them your ring, what your ring look like.
The ring is the collective churches coming together as one community. So you have the Methodist, the Anglican, and the Catholic. All these came together in one high school. So I was one of the first graduates from that high school.
So Sonia been practicing ecumenicalism for a while.
So we better stay away from her. Why we got none of that pizza? That's why we have so many problems in the music area.
Because she has changed. She's been changed, right, Sonia?
Okay, but put that ring on.
And Sonia, tell them what Sister Ruth tells you. Sonia, tell him what Sister Ruth tells you. I'm highly favored. I'm blessed.
Blessed and highly favored.
Yeah,
Lord help us. Lord help us. You tell Sister Ruth what you told us about being blessed and highly favored. Everybody want to be blessed and highly favored, but don't nobody want to go through nothing.
I told her that.
Oh, okay.
I told her that. And she tells me, said, well, Pastor, let me tell you something. I know I'm blessed and highly favored, so what you think doesn't matter.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, in most cases it is.
Yeah, tradition, because
In
you
most
know
cases.
tradition.
We are creatures of habit. We're no different from each other. We're going to have things that we like, things that we learn coming up growing. Most human beings have an affinity to things that they did when they were younger.
Yeah, exactly.
And they love to go back to it.
And I always say,
We're no different.
Yes, we reach your adult years.
But I want to show you something. I want to share something with you here. For the rest of us, the ecumenical means unity. That's why Sonia just says, they come together, unity. Right? It's a trick. Right? The trick is, even with your eyes wide open, you missed it. So basically, your eyes are wide shut. Ecumenical means universal. What other word means universal? No. That's the result of it. That's the outcome of it. But what other word means universal? No, diverse is different, separate. What other words mean? I think I'm asking the question wrong. The other word that means universal, pertain to a subject, is Catholic. Get in your fancy machines and type the word Catholic and see what it means. Universal. Catholic means the universal church. I learned that as a kid, as a Catholic. They tell us, we're the biggest. I used to tell my cousins they're Methodists. I said, we're the biggest. He says, what does that mean? We're the biggest. That doesn't mean nothing. The trick is, remember I told you from the beginning of time, from the time Satan tricked Adam in the garden, tricked Adam and Eve in the garden, he was creating his own church. Because that's when God created his church. That's what he told Satan. He says, you shall have enmity with the woman's seed. You know that scripture? I think it's Genesis 3. You shall have enmity with the woman's seed. You shall bruise his head, he shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. That's the fight. That's the fight. There's no other fight. There's no Republican and Democrat. There's no black and white. Amen. Either you're for Jesus or you're for the other guy.
That's right.
Daniel 11. I have 12 minutes left.
Daniel 11?
Yes, sir.
You know, you just got you confused. I thought the first church, the first church was started in the wilderness.
No,
in the Bible.
No. The first church was
in the
started.
wilderness.
No. You mean the children of Israel?
That's the first church.
They went in the fall.
That's not what I'm saying. I understand all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the first church was in the wilderness.
No.
It wasn't in the garden.
No, I didn't say the garden. The first church was formed at Pentecost.
Okay, I'll leave it alone.
Is Jesus the model?
Yes, he is, but the first church was in the Bible says it's in the wilderness.
No, they went in the fall. In fact, all of the ones who left Egypt didn't make it in, except 2.
They didn't make it into the promised land.
That's
That's not the first church, though, Pastor. It's not the first church.
Well, if I think I understand the argument you're making, then the first church was started in heaven then, with the 2/3 of the angels that didn't walk away from God. If that's the spiritual point you're taking it, I figure that's where you're coming from. God have always made his church. I said to you in Genesis, God gave us the formation of his church.
Oh, okay.
When what he said to the enemy, to Satan. He says the woman is God's church. His seed is Jesus. So he says you will bruise his head. He will bruise your head and you will bruise his heel. That's what Satan tried to do to Jesus in the wilderness. Right? He was trying to get Jesus before the time. He said, time is not yet. And when Jesus went to the cross, that's when Jesus paid the price. Thank God he did, right?
Amen.
We don't have to be bums. Daniel 11, everybody got that yet? Daniel 11, verse 36 through 45. Why did you get that? You see what's written up on the board? The other word that means universal is Catholic. With the wealth of the Catholic Church, the richest ever. The Catholic Church is the richest institution on earth. Right now, they are the richest institution on earth. And now, with all her daughters put together, right, who will be able to resist her wealth, influence, and power?
Only God can do that.
We are at the mercy of Jesus. Because these bastards will kill you.
Yes.
If you don't bow down to them, they will kill you.
My body is myself. Yeah,
Oh yeah, Jesus will be.
oh yeah, brother. Just think of something.
Well, if you don't feed you and you die of hunger, hey, what do you need? You're going to die for something, right?
Yeah.
Verse 36 reads, I haven't heard nobody read yet.
I'll read.
Go ahead. 36 to 45.
And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, Lord have mercy, nor regards of any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. But in his estate shall he honor the God of force, and a God whom his father knew not shall he honor with gold and silver, and with precious stone, and pleasant things.
Okay.
Thus, that's it?
38. Actually, it's all the way to 45, but we'll stop there. Because what Daniel is telling us that this king, this man of sin, when he comes, the whole world won't be able to resist him. And if you are not rooted and grounded in the Word of God, you will follow the crowd. You will follow the crowd. And it's easy for us to fall into that trap. So Daniel is giving us prophesying here on what's going to come. But in the scripture that you heard Brother Arthur read, you heard the last scripture, he says that all the gold and the silver and all the precious stones and the pleasant things, this is what the world is about today. You know that, church?
Yes, sir.
This is what the world is about today. Power, money, and power. And that's how they're going to get most people. Folks admire people that are rich.
Yeah.
And that goes for just about anybody. But God tells us, right, whether we began in conflict and we're going to end in communion with the Lord tells us, he begs us to come out of her.
My people.
My people.
My people.
Let's go to Revelation 18. I have 6 minutes. Revelation 18. Revelation 18. So, verse 1 through 5. I'm going to read it. It says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through her abundance of her delicacies. And I heard, what did I say? 5. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquity. Why? My question in the last verse, in verse 5, it says, God hath remembered her iniquities. Where do you think that comes from? Or what do you think that asserts to? I'm just trying to stimulate your mind. I know it's difficult, we're at the end, right? Your mind's starting to shut down, time to go. I'm hungry, I'm tired. You know what that reminds you? You know what that reminds me of? Where God remembered her sins. It has to do with the first part of that verse. Her sins went up all the way to heaven. Babel. Babel. Remember the key to the verses that we just read in, this is Revelation 18, right?
Yes.
What was the key? What has fallen? Babylon. I told you folks, it's the same fight that's been from the beginning to the end. The enemy, Satan, have raised up his church, and his church want to look like God's church. That's right, that's what he said. Isn't that 1 Corinthians 11 says Satan have his ministers dressed up? That's right. They have their own church. It's terrible. Verse 20 is same, verse 20 and 24, same chapter. Verse 20 says, rejoice over her, thou heavens, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God have avenged you on her. You see the key right there? God have avenged his church against her. So what does that tell you? Who killed the apostles? Rome. Rome killed the apostles. James got his head cut off by King Herod. He was a king. Rome made him a king, although he was a Jew, a mixed up Jew. Right? He killed James. Tried to kill Peter right away. But the rest after that, they killed Paul. They killed all the apostles, as far as we know, except John. Probably died of an old age.
Amen.
And then he goes on to say, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence should that great city, Babylon, be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. That's it. God says, enough is enough. And the voice of harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. And he's not done yet. A lot of people think she's done. They think, well, in fact, that's one of the arguments they make to the Lutherans, to the Methodists. Oh, we're not the same. Oh, we used to be. We're kinder, gentler. We don't kill people like we used to before. They don't say that. No, they don't say that. They don't admit to that. But this year, like I said, church, they're celebrating their Jubilee. So Methodists, Catholics, and Lutherans, and Anglicans, they're all going to celebrate Jubilee 500 years after the Reformation started. So there's no reason for the Reformation to carry on. You understand? They're even celebrating another celebrating going on this year. In 1917, 3 shepherds' kids in Portugal, they saw an image of Mary.
She shows up.
I mean, she never fails. She never fails.
The place where these 3 young shepherd kids saw this image. They said she was decked out in white. She had a rosary in her hands, And she had gold trimmings on her stuff, and she was bright as the sun. The place is called Fatima.
Lady of Fatima.
The Lady of Fatima. Well, that's another trick. The Lady of Fatima is Mary.
Yes.
They're celebrating 100 years of her this year too. 1917. 100 years later, they're celebrating her celebration. It's a big thing going on. So don't get caught up in it. You hear the Pope come to town and hear you in the crowd. Lightning might strike.
Jesus said it will possibly
Yes, there will be, you know it.
Remember that guy that I showed you, Tony Palmer, the bishop from Anglican. Shortly after he brought Kenneth Copeland and all these other charismatics together, he died in a motorcycle crash. He brought them together with Pope Francis in January, and he died in July.
Oh boy.
Crash. Killed himself. But I want to leave you with what he said when he brought these people together. He said, well, more recently, on 21st January 2014, Anglican Bishop and Ecumenical Officer Tony Palmer, a personal friend and prodigy of Pope Francis, made similar remarks at a gathering of evangelical and charismatic ministers hosted by Kenneth Copeland Ministries in Texas. Palmer claimed that the signing of the Joint Declaration of Doctrine of Justification in '99 by the Lutheran World Federation and the Catholic Church brought an end to the protest of Luther. He then added with a grin, if there is no more protest, how can there be a Protestant church? Bishop Palmer also shared a video message of Pope Francis, which he had recorded with his phone during a private audience with the pontiff a few days later. Dear brothers and sisters, the Pope said, let us come together like Joseph and his brothers. And that's a Spanish accent. Let us pray. Father God, Lord, we thank you so much for your patience with us, Lord, as we prepare to leave this place. Continue to be with us, Lord. Continue to guide us. And let us help us, Lord, to keep our eyes sharp, Father God. For those who say they are may not be what they say they are, Father. But Father, Lord, let us keep our eyes fixed on your Son, Jesus, and his word. Bless us and keep us, Lord, and bless all our family. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.